China's strategic maneuvers are reshaping the European Union in profound ways. What does this mean for the future of Europe's political and economic landscape? Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the ripple effects of these geopolitical shifts. Keep watching as we uncover the broader implications of these strategic shifts. Chinese President Xi Jinping's recent trip to Hungary demonstrates China's strategic interest and increasing influence in Europe. The bond between the two nations has grown stronger through economic collaborations, particularly under the leadership of Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban. Noteworthy Chinese investments in Hungary, like the establishment of electric vehicle and battery factories, along with initiatives such as visa-free travel and enhanced cargo flights, are further solidifying the connection between the two countries. During Xi Jinping's visit to Serbia, which coincided with the 25th anniversary of the NATO bombing of the Chinese embassy in Belgrade, there was a significant historical moment for Sino-Serbian relations. Under President Alexander Vučić, Serbia has shown firm political backing for China, engaging in joint infrastructure projects. These diplomatic outings underscore China's strategic endeavor to strengthen ties within the EU and cultivate deeper economic and political alliances with key partners, adapting to shifting global dynamics. Both Hungary and Serbia have sought to deepen their connections with China through economic pacts and political collaboration. Although these visits do not explicitly signal Hungary's desire to join BRICS, they do indicate a strengthening of bilateral relations in economic and political spheres. Membership in BRICS would necessitate considerations beyond Hungary's dealings with China alone, requiring alignment with the group's broader objectives and the approval of its current members. Chinese President Xi Jinping's tour of Europe, spanning France, Hungary, and Serbia, arrives at a pivotal juncture and carries substantial implications for the upcoming European Union elections. Let's delve into the potential ramifications and the broader geopolitical landscape. 1. As the EU elections loom, there's a discernible shift towards the right, with populist factions gaining traction. Against this backdrop, China's escalating influence in Central and Eastern Europe, notably through initiatives like the Belt and Road Initiative, adds complexity. Closer ties between China and nations like Hungary may bolster nationalist and Eurosceptic sentiments, often amenable to non-Western alliances. 2. Xi's visit holds sway over EU economic and trade policies, particularly amid ongoing EU-China trade tensions and concerns regarding investment security. The EU's response to China's economic maneuvers, including calls for scrutinizing foreign investments and apprehensions about technology transfers, could emerge as a pivotal election issue, with parties diverging on their approaches to China. 3. In France, Xi's presence could impact perceptions of French leadership in foreign affairs. President Emmanuel Macron's stance on China, particularly in securing commercial agreements and navigating diplomatic relations, might face scrutiny during election campaigns. The management of France's ties with China could sway voter opinions on Macron's administration, particularly concerning economic autonomy and national security. 4. The deepening bonds between select EU member states and China pose a challenge to EU unity, particularly regarding China-related policies. Heightened engagements between China and nations, like Hungary and Serbia, may foster divergent interests within the EU, potentially influencing collective decisions on foreign policy, trade accords, and security protocols. The evolving power dynamics within the European Union are undoubtedly influenced by external forces, such as visits from leaders like Chinese President Xi Jinping. These visits hold significance as they have the potential to bolster ties between the EU and China, thereby impacting the internal balance of power within the EU. Xi's recent engagements in Europe, particularly with nations like France and Hungary, underscore a strategic deepening of relations, which could prove pivotal leading up to the EU elections. Such visits highlight China's keen interest in shaping alliances and economic partnerships within Europe, potentially influencing Europe's internal cohesion and alignment on foreign policy matters. The considerable attention given to these visits in both media and policy circles underscores their anticipated impact on regional and global politics. As the balance of power within the EU undergoes shifts, with southern and eastern member states gaining influence, internal conflicts may arise, testing the unity of the EU. How individual member states navigate their foreign relations and domestic priorities will be critical in determining how the EU manages its external relations while maintaining internal cohesion. In response to the evolving geopolitical landscape, The EU is taking proactive steps to safeguard its economic security. This includes plans to reform its foreign direct investment screening regime and improve coordination on export controls. Such measures are in part a response to the economic strategies pursued by major global players like China and the US, aimed at safeguarding Europe's economic interests amidst complex international relations. Xi Jinping's visits and broader international engagements are exerting influence on the political landscape within the EU, shaping upcoming elections, and potentially reshaping Europe's positioning on the global stage. The outcome of these developments will be pivotal for the future trajectory of EU policies and its role in global affairs. The European Union likely viewed Chinese President Xi Jinping's visit as a chance to tackle strategic and economic goals. Key expected outcomes from the visit include: 1. The EU aims to balance its economic relationship with China, seeking fairer trade terms and better access to Chinese markets. This could lead to talks on mutually beneficial investment treaties. 2. Considering the geopolitical climate, the EU plans to discuss critical issues with China, such as the situation in Ukraine, tensions in the South China Sea, and other areas where China is influential, aiming to promote stability and a rules-based order. 3. With urgent global climate action needed, the EU intends to boost cooperation with China on environmental initiatives, including reducing emissions and supporting renewable energy and sustainable development projects. 4. The EU might address human rights issues, particularly China's policies in Xinjiang and Hong Kong, a sensitive yet vital part of EU-China dialogues. 5. The EU is keen to collaborate with China in high-tech sectors, like artificial intelligence and 5G, focusing on frameworks that protect its security and economic interests. The EU anticipates that this visit will contribute to fostering a more balanced and reciprocal relationship with China, addressing both opportunities for cooperation and areas of concern, thereby promoting global stability and prosperity. Chinese President Xi Jinping's visit to Europe is unlikely to directly change the strategic partnership between Russia and China. This relationship has been strong, with both nations united against perceived Western dominance. Here are key points on how this visit could affect their relations. 1. The visit, focused on strengthening ties with European nations, doesn't imply a shift in China's strategic alignment with Russia. The two countries share mutual benefits in energy, military, and economic sectors, which reinforce their partnership. 2. China is expected to maintain its strong relationship with Russia, while also engaging constructively with the European Union. Despite its deep bond with Russia, China seeks to keep good relations with the EU, a vital trading partner. 3. The outcomes of Xi's visit might indirectly affect the geopolitical landscape, including China's stance relative to Russia. Enhanced cooperation with the EU could prompt China to adjust its approach to Russia, especially if EU and Russian interests conflict. 4. China values its strategic independence and avoids siding in conflicts involving significant stakes with both involved parties, like at Ukraine. Thus, while the visit could bolster China-EU relations, it's unlikely to drastically alter China's alignment with Russia without major global shifts. In summary, while Xi's visit to Europe holds significance for European relations, it is unlikely to single-handedly alter the ties between Russia and China. Both countries have forged a robust partnership that serves their mutual interests across various domains. In light of the shifting power dynamics within the European Union and China's strategic interests, what strategies do you believe the EU should adopt to maintain its economic security and global standing? Feel free to share your insights in the comments below. Join the Revel Discovery community by subscribing and stay updated on this critical shift in global geopolitical dynamics. As we delve into these significant geopolitical shifts, your perspective is invaluable. Stay engaged with us as we continue to explore and analyze these developments.